Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another HFY narration. Today we'll be reading Exceptions May Apply, made by u/InBabylonTheyWept. Thanks for the writer's permission. The link for the story is in the description and I hope you'll enjoy. Let's begin. The human ship started the conversation by dumping all of its magazines into black hole Kepler 92a. The PDC depleted their reserves within 2 minutes and the spinal mount took about twice as long. It would have been an amazing display of firepower if the Atali didn't know for a fact that even a direct hit from any of the rounds would fail to punch through their hull. So, instead of worrying, they watched with the kind of morbid fascination the adults get while watching a child have a tantrum in public. They watched the ship light up, shitting ton after ton of tungsten-coated iron into the corpse of a dead star until at last they ran out of ammo. Then, and only then, did the Atali send a second message over. "Are you quite finished?" The response came back immediately. "Give me a moment, I'm just finishing a little math problem, but yeah, if it's urgent, I can talk to you. What's up, big man?" The Atali barely spent a second parsing over the message. They'd seen human bravado before. "We sent you a request to surrender, acknowledging that none of your weapons are strong enough to pierce our hull. You opened fire on a black hole for about 5 consecutive minutes. Tantrums and sulking do not impress us." The human ship took a moment to respond. "Well, that's a pity. The 2 things that I'm best at are tantrums and sulking. The third is juggling, but in 0G, that's, well, easy. We could host a little talent show here, though, if that would impress you. Are you going to discuss your terms of surrender, or are we going to have to kill you?" There was a longer pause before the ship replied back. "You know, a minute or 2 ago, that would have been a very scary threat, but you got about 10 seconds before shooting us becomes a mutual suicide. We'd strongly discourage that route." The Atali commander actually rolled his eyes. "It'll take a minute or 2 to charge our capacitors. I can promise it won't be painful. Your bullshitting is a credit too." The message was cut off as a swarm of something ripped through the lower quadrant of the ship. The targeting systems lost their minds. The projectiles were coming out of the black hole. What the fuck? Main thruster was down, as were the nav lines. He had enough presence of mind to direct the side PDC, using recoil to push out of line just in time to avoid the brunt of another burst of fire. A standard human ferro slug was caught by the lidar, but it was moving so close to sea that instrument error was putting it at superluminal. A second burst of mini rounds blew past the ship. They didn't catch the brunt like they did the first time, but the stragglers in the burst tore through what remained of engineering. Casualty estimated in that quadrant went past 60%. As the capacitor bank blew out, shorting out the main power conduit to their weapon systems. Without even PDC recoil to steer, they'd have been trapped, forced to take barrage after barrage of mysterious black hole bullets, if the human ship hadn't taken the time to intervene. It rammed their craft. It was not a combat ram though, it was a 15 miles per hour collision that gradually turned up the gas. The little human ship chugged along, nudging the Atali cruiser out of the way, avoiding the next barrage by a mere 500-meter gap. It shouldn't have been possible for a ship to look smug, but it did. The Atali sent the first message over. Telecom still worked. Life support was running on fumes, but of course, the luxury systems were fine. "What the hell was that?" "Gravity-assisted munitions," the human ship replied immediately. The Atali captain had the damnedest sense that they typed that in minutes ago and were just waiting to hit the send command. He took a moment to parse that. The bullets weren't being fired into the black hole. They were being fired very, very close to it. Enough to slingshot around with stolen momentum. It was a stupid, stupid trick, the longest of long shots to pull, and yet it had worked. "What now?" he asked. Well, the human ship replied, "It was awful nice of you to not just kill us on sight. I suppose we could return the favor. Feel like surrendering today?" There was a long, long pause from the Atali ship as the captain attempted to swallow his pride. The task was not made easier when a few seconds later another message came in. "Chop chop, tantrums and sulking do not win wars. Exceptions may apply." Thank you for listening. I'm glad to still have you here. This one was interesting. I hope I was able to do a satisfactory reading, and hopefully the new microphone provides better audio quality than before. If you have stuck around, go and show your appreciation to the writer on HFY. I hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.